Alright, so it's been a while since I did my last video, and basically what happened in my last video was I was doing a video and posting it to YouTube to prove to an Amazon buyer that the Intel DP43BF Classic Series motherboard was actually working. And basically what happens, I sent this board to him, and it was in like near perfect condition. I barely touched it. I used it once because I put the incompatible RAM that I talked about earlier in the other video into it, the HyperX Blue RAM from Kingston, which is awesome RAM, by the way. I don't even know if these sticks work, but I know they're incompatible because I found out that they were the wrong density. But anyway, so I sent it to him, and he's like, "Oh, well, your board's faulty. It destroyed my processor." And I'm like, that's not even possible. That board is not faulty. I actually checked it right before I sent it to you. It's working. What I did is I had a processor in it, and I had two gigabyte sticks of incompatible RAM in the system, and it gave me a 3 beep code. So, you know, I knew that the board was working, because if it wasn't working, it wouldn't be able to give me the beep code. But anyway, so he sent it back to me, and then I posted the video. Of course, by the time I posted the video, the Amazon mediators were able to resolve the issue. So I just left the video up, and I actually found some people who actually enjoyed watching the video. So I thought I might as well do an update. So here's the system. It's actually running right now. My monitors aren't on. Let me see here if I can move my mouse here and have the monitors wake up. But anyway, so the system is on right now. And I don't know, I guess the only way you can really tell is if you see there's the LED light, and I'm pretty sure you can hear the fans. So there's one fan right there going. There's a fan right there going on the graphics card. The system's working perfectly fine. And there was one thing I had to do before I was able to get the board to boot up. And actually, no, that's two things I had to do. First thing I had to do was find compatible RAM. So I did some research, and I found the right density. I actually emailed Crucial, of all people, and I got some generic Crucial RAM from Amazon. And I asked them, I said, is this low density RAM? Is this RAM with times 16 configuration? And what times 16 configuration is basically sticks of RAM. Actually, I could probably, here, let's use this as a prop here. So sticks of RAM underneath this little blue heat spreader. On this particular stick of RAM, there's 8 little black chips on it, and they hold a certain number of megabytes of RAM per each chip, and then they total up to 2 gigs. So this is a 2 gig stick. And anyway, so there's 8 chips on this. Which side is it? 8 chips on this side. And you can't really tell with the camera, but I can tell after looking at it with the right kind of light where the chips are. But anyway, so there's 8 chips on this stick. And the other side, there's nothing. Well, what you're supposed to do for this particular series of motherboards, the Intel DP43BF Motherboard, is you're supposed to find times 16 configuration chips. Well, that's an older type of RAM, and so it's not very easy to find, because as of right now, this type of RAM that's the higher density with the 8 chips and not the 16 chips total will be plug-and-play compatible with any modern-day motherboard. Well, the Classic Series board, even though it's still relevant, I guess you could say, it's older. So it likes different flavor of RAM. So I found the RAM. There's 4 gigs of Kingston, 4 gigs of Crucial DDR3 1333 RAM in there. There's 2 sticks, if you can see them right there. Yeah. 1, 2. And it's working. The other thing I had to do, that was the first thing. The other thing I had to do is I had to go down to Best Buy. I had to go get a graphics card, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, this board if I'm not mistaken, will only start looking for a graphics card in the PCI Express slot. So the blue slot on the motherboard, that's the PCI Express times 16 slot. And that's where it's looking for a graphics. When I had my older card in here, this card right here, it's a PCI card. It's different. It's a different slot. So here's the slot right here. Completely different slot. PCIe was the next step in the evolution. But this was an older card from an older computer, and I transferred it. And I was under the assumption that it was working, so it could be dead. But anyways, I went and I got another card. It's the, here, it's right here. This is the NVIDIA GT630. It's got 2 gigs of DDR3 RAM. Best Buy was trying to sell it for $100, and I told them, I said, hey, Amazon has it for $65, so give it to me for $65. And they're like, okay, fine. And then I got like an old PCI Wi-Fi antenna in here, and then there's this is my audio card. It's pretty cool. See the little blue line right there? That's the top of the heat spreader for the processor on top of it. It's pretty cool. But anyways, this is the Creative Sound Blaster Recon 3D. It's a gaming audio card. It's a 5.1 channel, and then of course it's got the dedicated audio jack. And so I've got the dedicated audio jack. I've got my mic plugged in, and so there's a mic pass through my keyboard. It's coming on the side right here, and then I got my cord. It's going all the way down here up to my headphones. So I just use the software that comes with the card, and I tell it, oh hey, well, I'm listening to music through my headphones, and then it changes it from the speakers to the headphones. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, so the system's working. It's actually kind of funny too, because this system is running with a dual-core 1.8 gigahertz processor from Intel, a 300 watt power supply, a 80 gig Seagate Barracuda hard drive at 7200 RPM, and then a second 80 gig Seagate Barracuda hard drive, also at 7200 RPM. I'm using it as like a backup for all my pictures I get off my phone, stuff like that. But anyways, it's kind of funny because the hard drives, the processor, the power supply, and the disk drive all came from this little computer over here. And I got that computer for free from a retail store I used to work at, and they were gonna get rid of this computer because they're like, oh, it's old, so they got rid of it. I'm like, wait, I can use the parts. And so I've got this system running, and basically half of it I got it for free. And so if I really think about it, I spent $50 for the audio card, $65 for the graphics card. I spent $5 for the Wi-Fi card. I spent $50 for this little guy. This is a SanDisk Ready Cache SSD with 32 gigs of cache. I'll explain about that in a minute. And then I spent $50 for the motherboard, and I spent $62 for the 4 gigs of RAM. So that's probably, I don't know, like somewhere around $400, maybe closer to $500. But it's just like a lower end machine. It's definitely capable of gaming. I'm actually able to play like Source Engine games. They're completely maxed out on the left monitor. I don't play games on the right monitor. That's for like running, Skype in the background and having a web page open while I'm playing. But anyways, so that's a 1080p monitor. It's 23 inches. And I'm running like Half-Life 2 and Left 4 Dead 2 and, Portal 2, a whole bunch of 2s. Valve can't count to 3, but, anyways, I've got all those games completely maxed out. It's pretty cool. And then other games, like I'm playing Skyrim at like medium quality at a little bit under 1080p. And like Grid 2 I'm playing it at like medium quality, above 30 FPS. It's looking beautiful at 1080p. Batman Arkham City, I was really surprised I was able to get Batman Arkham City to run really surprised. I'm averaging 30 FPS, maybe a little bit above, with nearly everything maxed. Like I'm like one setting under extreme for most of everything, except for I don't have PhysX on. That's for a more beefy graphics card. But anyways, I was really surprised that I was able to get that to run. But the system's running really well. And the other thing I want to talk about was how I got the system to run so well. Is not because of the processor, because the processor is sort of anemic. It can still run games, as you can see. I'll have to prove it to you guys later. But anyways, you'll just have to take my word for it. And I was able to get the system to run really well because of this. This is the SanDisk caching SSD. So basically, what caching is a caching SSD. This particular one has a program that comes with it. It's called Express Cache. And it basically takes all of your most used programs and takes all of that data, and instead of it takes all of that data and it puts it on the SSD. And then when your hard drive starts saying, "Oh hey, I'm going to load Spotify the program," and it starts loading it, then the SSD is like, "Oh, you're loading Spotify? Okay, I'll do it for you." And it loads it way quicker than a hard drive can do, because there's no moving parts, and so there's no lag, and there's no bottlenecks. At least there's not as much of a bottleneck as there would be on a hard drive. And so, I turn on my computer, and I turn on and turn off my computer, and so the startup and shutdown process is cached as well. And so my computer turns off within 10 seconds, and it's completely off. And then my computer is up and running completely with all startup applications and programs and processes up and running within like a minute. It's ridiculous, because basically the caching SSD does all the work for the hard drive. Now, granted, there are some caveats that come with the SSD. For instance, the SSD will only work if you're using the software. It's called Express Cache, as I've said previously. So here's the software right here. Basically, so here's the total cache size. It's 29.82 gigabytes. I've got 6.11 gigabytes cached so far. It does it all by itself. There's no really customization or anything. It just runs in the background, and I can't really do much to customize it or anything like that. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys this. So here's the red line. This red line represents my hard drive. So this is all the data that's being loaded from the hard drive, and right now there's nothing because it's all flatline. And then here's the data that's being loaded from the SSD. And so when I first started using the my computer and I installed the SSD, the red line was just going up, just kept going, because it's loading data right after I started. My computer's going super slow and so sluggish, and then it finally catches up and I'm able to somewhat do some work. And then the blue line's just sitting there not doing much, kind of going up tiny bit and then stopping and then nothing. And then later on in the computing session, I see, oh hey, there's more gigabytes that are cached so far. What is it doing? This is weird. And then, programs such as Firefox and Spotify and, stuff like Skype and all those other things, I close them and I open them periodically just because. And they're opening up like that. And it's just crazy. Like Skype, it gets to the loading page where it says it's loading, and I tell it to log in automatically. So it does this thing where it shows me the little spinning icon for Skype as it's loading, and it does like one turn, or it doesn't even finish a turn, and the next thing I know, boom, I'm in Skype, and I'm like, whoa! And so it's like super crazy. And but anyways, it's pretty cool, because now the SSD completely mirrors the loading of the red line. And so I'll start at my computer and it loads Windows and it loads all my startup applications, and both lines are going mirrored up like this at the same time. So it's really cool, and it's making my computer run really well. It's running really, really well, and I just wanted to show you guys how my update, show you how it's all working. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it, and please subscribe. I'd love more subscribers. Thank you guys so much.